Welcome to Three Count Commentaries. We're going to be talking today about Jim Cornette saying that Liv Morgan is too girly and too pretty to be a pro wrestler. Now, Liv Morgan has one of the most dedicated and honestly repugnant fan bases in all of WWE. I could not care less. But it's always fun to see somebody hit the hornet's nest and to see what comes out. So we will be doing a Smark tier segment on Jim Cornette getting absolutely roasted by the Liv Morgan fan base. Of course, he was called every name in the book, but we will get there. First, let's see what the big deal is. What did the Louisville Lip say? They got people all uptight about their favorite midget female wrestler. I am very interested. I want to give Liv Morgan some credit. While I'm looking up this article, let's give Liv Morgan a little bit of credit. Toni Storm, as I record, she has been trending all day because she did a podcast with Renee where she said that she felt WWE didn't care about her and that they was firing people left and right. And she felt like she was just going to go back to catering, so that's why she quit. She said, hey, if they don't care about me, I don't care about them, yada, yada, yada. Now, I don't really care that much about what Toni Storm had to say, but I sat here, and as I was watching other people constantly tweet this, I thought about it, and I said, Liv Morgan signed a WWE contract when she was 19 years old. She had no real conception of who she was, and no knowledge of the business whatsoever. Toni Storm came into WWE. She was already like 23 or 22. She had already wrestled in Japan, already wrestled in the independents. She was pretty well known. Toni Storm was pushed right out of the gate in NXT UK and through the Mae Young Classic and all this kind of stuff. While Liv Morgan basically went through NXT with nobody noticing that she even existed. And then she spent years, I'm talking 4, 5, 6 years on the main roster, basically either being a jobber or sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing. So when I think of what Toni Storm said, I said, well, Toni Storm didn't really hit any skids in WWE until she got to the main roster, where, she was no longer a big fish in a small pond. Now she was just a fish in a pond. And she had to wait for her spot, and she had to become a priority through hard work and effort. When I look at Liv Morgan, I say that Liv Morgan signed a contract when she was 19. By all rights, when the rest of the Riot Squad got fired, she should have been fired too. She was expendable. But for some reason, they kept her around. And she did everything that they asked her to do. This is the difference between somebody who was kind of raised up in the WWE system versus somebody who comes from the independents. I think this is kind of a good example. Toni Storm comes from the independents where, people have been kissing her ass and talking about how great she was for years and years and years. She gets into WWE where the first time she's told, basically, you're not that important. Go sit over there for a minute. We doing something over here. And she pitches a fit and quits. While Liv Morgan has been getting kicked around for 5 fucking years. But she continuously does whatever they tell her to do. She was out of shape at one point. They told her to get back in shape. She did it. They did the whole thing with the new Liv Morgan, where they was going to reintroduce her. And she went through that whole thing. That ended up being a complete and total debacle because she ended up re-debuting in that segment with Lana. And it was not well received, and people was very upset because it was a lesbian angle, and neither one of them was lesbians, at least as far as today anybody else actually knew. Then she languished after that, and it was just a lot of negative stuff with Liv Morgan. If anybody had any right to quit, to give up, to go home, it was Liv Morgan. She was really treated like shit in WWE. For the most of her run, she's been treated like absolute garbage. And completely, totally expendable. It wasn't until mid to late 2021 where Liv Morgan finally started to pick up some steam. And people finally started to really get behind her. So now we sit in June of 2022, and Liv Morgan has wrestled on pay-per-view. She's wrestled on WrestleMania. She's worked her way into her spot. Toni Storm jumps to AEW and is wrestling on Dark. She's wrestling the YouTube show. Because, It is what it is. I mean, this is just as current recording. There is no reason why Toni Storm, who had all this experience and is a beautiful girl, she's absolutely a knockout, couldn't be where Liv Morgan is. The only difference is she couldn't ride it out. She quit. She gave up. She went home. Liv Morgan rode it out. And who knows what will happen at some point in the future. But I just wanted to give Liv Morgan a little bit of credit before we get into this, because I'm probably not going to give Liv Morgan too much credit once we really go through this. All right, so what actually happened here? What happened is Jim Cornette was doing a review of a Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley match. I think it might have been the 6-person tag from Hell in a Cell, or it was their match on Raw, one of the two. But she says, but when Rhea and Liv got in there, I think he's talking about the 6-man tag. Again, Rhea is everything I like about women's wrestling, and Morgan is the opposite. She's too small. Her shit is awkward. She's trying to do shit to bigger people, and they're trying to let her. It doesn't come across. She's too pretty. I just don't see it. He continues, they've been fighting every week. Liv Morgan does not grow on me. She is too girly to be a wrestler. Rhea Ripley has to not only bend over backward, but has to do the limbo to make it believable that Liv Morgan is hanging in there with her. So I'm not saying that Jim Cornette is wrong. I'm saying that it's a recurring thing, especially with WWE, where a lot of the women who have personality and they finally get over, those women are small. You know, Zelina Vega, small. Alexa Bliss, small. Sasha Banks, small. Now, I made a video before about the Rhea Ripleys and the Bianca Belairs, and saying that basically that's that's going to be the new prototype, typical female wrestler going forward. And it's going to be the bigger, stronger woman. But yes, they are absolutely going to have to go out of their way to sell for these 5'1" mini girls who get over on personality or just by hanging in there. And I can understand how that would be frustrating. You know, I'm pretty sure it was frustrating for him to watch, you know, guys sell for Rey Mysterio. This is, you know, a similar thing, but in the female division. You know, if you see Kevin Nash trying to sell for Rey Mysterio, which you probably never would have seen, or Billy Kidman when he wrestled Hulk Hogan at one time, and he was selling for Hogan was selling for Kidman. People thought it was ridiculous. It looked asinine, and it really did. It looked real dumb, real dumb. And people was like, this guy's just too small to be considered a threat. You know, now the whole concept of her being too girly, what I'm guessing is it just no edge to her. It's all teddy bears, and she's just like this really cute high school girl who happens to wrestle sometimes. And I could get how somebody who likes the smoky arenas of the NWA would see Liv Morgan and say she doesn't fit. You know, women's wrestlers in his day looked like, you know, Woman. They looked like Sherry. They looked like Medusa, Candy Divine. They were women's wrestlers. They were dolled up a little bit, but they weren't tiny women. They were ferocious also in terms of being fighters and coming across like fighters. Where, you know, WWE's women does come across like dolls. A lot of them do. I've already mentioned quite a few of them. Even the ones you would say doesn't fit the quote-unquote stereotypical divas mantra, you know, they look like dolls. Alexa Bliss, you know, Zelina Vega. They're small. They're easily injured. You know, if you're a big, tough, rough female wrestler, you pretty much got to you really got to sell for these smaller women. You know, so I understand what he means. Not that I agree or disagree, just I understand what he means. I understand where he's coming from, especially when you consider how old Jim Cornette is. He's like 60. So yeah, he's definitely not going to be into this new generation of female wrestler that looks very colorful and is very sort of cartoonish. So I get it, but I could tell you, I don't think he cares. But like I said, Liv Morgan has a very dedicated, very loud, very vocal, quite repugnant fan base. So let's get into what they think about this whole thing. Let's go. Liv is too girly? Like, Liv Morgan I'm confused by this whole statement. Because there are more girly women in WWE than Liv. But guess he's just bored and want to pick on someone who is literally on fire right now. Okay. I really want to know who is still asking for Jim Cornette's opinion on anything. I didn't ask. He just does a show. He does reviews. And occasionally on these reviews, people come up. Liv Morgan was on the show. He reviews the show. She's on it. You know, he's critiquing everybody, even the referees. He's even going after the commentary, the referees, the fans. He's going after everybody. So Liv Morgan is not like, she shouldn't be like invisible to him. All right. Another one. I hate to be cognizant of another human's feelings, but Liv Morgan seems like a sweet, hardworking person. I realize she's in public purview, but all she did was her job, and without any provocation at all, this man decided he needed to be the one to put her down. Unnecessary. Jim Cornette needs to shut his bitch ass the fuck up, like his talking privileges are overdue. Jesus Christ. Fuck Jim Cornette. Old ass should keep Liv and any other women's wrestlers' names out of his mouth. Oh my good God. Jim Cornette is about to be on life support and he's worried about a wrestler being too girly. Here we go. Why the fuck do we continue to let these old talking heads have sway in the business? Fuck you, Jim Cornette. Touch grass, dork. Call him a dork. I love that. Like what? Which is what's the response. Cornette has a lot of dumb, racist, ignorant shit, but it took this to finally piss enough people off. I know, the racism wasn't enough, right? It's goddamn it, you crossed the line. You've said Liv Morgan too pretty to be a wrestler. God damn it. Hold me back. Hold me back. What the hell is this guy talking about? And I'm claiming that Jim Cornette should shut the fuck up. Her being too girly to be a wrestler doesn't make sense when you can see she's improving every week. All she needs is a character. That has nothing to do with being girly. Nothing. That has nothing to do with being girly. Nothing. Okay. What's wrong with being a girly wrestler? Like, he really needs to shut the fuck up and mind his own business. He comes from a different era. You kids, all your goddamn anime avatars, and no pronouns in the bio. I'm impressed. First, men had a problem with women being masculine. Now they have a problem with women being feminine. Leave women the fuck alone. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. And you know what? This one has some merit to it. This comment has some merit. A lot of people did make fun of, women who are too masculine. Charlotte, China, Bianca, Rhea, they all got that. You have the man's body. You're built like a man. But then when a woman is small, like Alexa Bliss or Zelina or Sasha Banks or something like that, people say she's not believable. She got no business being in the ring. So I do get it. I get it. There is people who are just, you can't win with them. Some people just don't like women's wrestling at all, period. And you just got to live with those people too. They just exist. I mean, it is what it is. I personally don't mind women's wrestling as long as it's good. I don't care what it is, as long as it's not midgets. I can't stand fucking midgets. I won't watch midgets. No, I would never watch midgets. That sucks. Other than that, if you put it on the screen, it better be good. And women's wrestling in WWE, they do a good job of it. It's not great. It's not fantastic. Sometimes it is. And that's the only reason I put up with it. Is because sometimes it actually hits the right spot. But I get how people can say women can't win because it's if she's too big, she's a man. She's too masculine. If she's too small, she's too small. And I get it. Should be worth noting that this chump likes Sunny. He broke Sunny into the business. That's why he liked her, not because he thought she was a good wrestler, because Sunny was never a wrestler. He can choke on his middle fingers. Ooh, this is crazy. So the cuck is the authority on femininity, is he? I don't think you should be calling people cucks when you have the gay pride flag, which includes pretty much every version of degeneracy under the sun, in your handle. I mean, isn't cucks part of the whole LGBT thing? Wouldn't that be part of it? You know, guys who like to voyeurism. That's not part of the plus. I guess we haven't put the V on there yet for voyeurism. People who like to watch, you know. But we're going to get there. I'm pretty sure. We're pretty sure we're going to get there. You know what? I'm so sick of hearing Jim Cornette's fucking old school dumbass opinions. If you want to be stuck in the old days of wrestling, then go build or find a time machine and go back there and stay there. Nobody will miss you. Honestly, just shut the fuck up and disappear 100. My God. I'll shit him. Wait a minute. I'll shit him. No. That's not I'll shit. SH**T. What do you think that means? I'll shoot him. Can I buy a vowel? I like to buy an O. Jim Cornette likes to act like his big authority on wrestling. Then he says the most dumbass shit I've ever heard. What does too girly to wrestle mean? I like to see her in the ring with you, Jim. And then we see what you think. Just never speak on women's wrestling again. Good Lord. Good Lord, these people are angry. Why are they so mad? This is the dumbest shit I've ever read in my entire life. Like, why is that a question? Not going to listen to a man who likes getting cucked. I too like to disavow and disregard the opinion of cucks. I do. I like that myself. Why? Jim Cornette, this is why you're trending. I don't even see how that can be offensive. Some of the things you say can be construed as sexist by some butthurt people, but this, she's too girly? That's just people looking to be offended for no reason. Finally, somebody decided to stand up for him. Look, man, you don't even got to be trying to offend nobody for them to get offended. So don't concern yourself with people being offended. You know, it just is what it is. Cornette being sexist again. Wow. Nobody tell Corny about a wrestler named Riho. What? You mean you let him listen to his show where he's gone on in painstakingly nauseous detail about how much he hates Riho, who is a very small Japanese woman. So at least he's consistent. Liv Morgan is a small white woman. He doesn't want any part of that. Riho's a small Asian woman. He doesn't want any part of her either. Riho's a better wrestler, but she's also has almost no expression and no character, nothing. It says, I come to the conclusion all these dudes are unserious and just be saying anything for clicks and views. I think he just has a critique that he just doesn't like Liv Morgan. And being too girly, I get it. She doesn't look tough enough. She doesn't look like she's in a fight. And that's a good... And Liv Morgan being there makes it look like it's not a fight. You know, I guess I could say that. You know? Very difficult to take her seriously. What the fuck does that even mean? It means he doesn't take her seriously. That's what he means. That's exactly what he means. She's literally one of the least girliest on the roster. Pardon? Wait, what? What? What's your definition of girly? There are actually people that I use to rely on for wrestling insight that look up to this person. Ooh, that's sad. Fuck this ragged sack of shit. Once again, fuck Cornette. The Liv Morgan antis always say the dumbest shit every single time. Like somehow, always constantly outdoing the last shit take they had. So what does that make most of the women in the diva era? Give Jim Cornette some credit. He hates the divas too. I don't think he's ever spoken positively about anybody from the Divas era, except maybe Beth Phoenix and maybe Michelle McCool. Beth Phoenix for sure, because she was in OVW. So yeah, he for sure said, and Mickie James, he said positive things about them. But most of the other women, he pretty much shit on them. So but you know, Liv Morgan is getting the current heat that people used to give to Kelly and a lot of the other women who were just pretty for no reason, and then they wanted to be a wrestler, and then everybody was like, oh, everything they do was terrible, even though they was kind of terrible. Pretty girl. Let's all hate on her. Stop giving this man attention. Stop giving him a platform. Let him fade into irrelevancy of his era because he has nothing of worth to say. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. First of all, what does this even mean? Second of all, we're in 2022. Why is being girly used as an insult? Third of all, Stan Liv Morgan, fuck you, Jim Cornette, you piece of old, ugly, boiled egg sandwich shit. That's an all-timer right there. That's all time. Of all of the Smark tier segments I think I've ever done, this one is probably the most deranged. This is probably the most deranged comment I've ever read on this channel. You piece of old, ugly, boiled egg sandwich shit. That person is completely detached from reality. All right. I'm saying that was nothing but pure rage typing through whatever screen this person was typing on. Who is this? The big titties. Hold up now. She got some huge titties. I'm sorry. Who is this lady? I got distracted by titties. Focus up. Focus up. Jim Cornette is down bad. All right. Why hasn't he died yet? Oh my God. Why hasn't he died yet? Jim Cornette is like 100 years old. Leave mother alone. So, the most improved wrestler by a wide margin on the WWE roster, who is constantly busting her ass to get better and is doing moves even the male wrestlers don't do, is too feminine for Mr. Cornette. What an absolutely useless man. Bro, he just be saying nonsense. Jim Cornette says dumbass southern boomer shit yet again. Jim Cornette is a scumbag. This motherfucker can't be real, bruh. Okay. Trish was girly. What's your point? I'm pretty sure he didn't like Trish Stratus either. Somebody should send a question and ask him what he thought of Trish Stratus. Because I don't think he's ever had like a long comment about Trish Stratus that measures up to any appreciable amount of time. As someone who does listen to Cornette, it's best to avoid his takes on women's wrestling because most of them suck hard. He likes women's wrestlers that he knows personally, and he likes women's wrestlers who like grapple and work the kind of style that he personally grew up with. And he sees women's wrestling as an addition to the men's wrestling and not an equal to. I can agree with him on the latter part. I see women as an addition, not as a sideshow attraction. Where, come see the girl wrestlers. That's how it was in the 30s and in the 40s. Come see the girl wrestlers. It's like, okay, they're going to be there. But I think, the push to have 6 women's matches and 6 men's matches is like, okay, unless you can get, 12 women over, there really is no reason for that. To have equal, women's and men's rosters just doesn't make much sense. It's only so many hours in a day. So much time you've got. You got to look at who's going to make you the money, and the people who have the most opportunity to make the money is going to be the guys. But you definitely reward the girls who actually get over, and you reward them with more time and more money, like they did with Becky Lynch and Charlotte and all them. I'm pretty sure they're not underpaid. They're probably underpaid in comparison to the men, but the men draw more. They sell more t-shirts. They sell more tickets. It's going to be an easy way to explain that. So definitely, I think Becky Lynch is the one who broke the pay scale for women. Well, it's probably Ronda Rousey, but for regular roster women, it was probably Becky. But I think that when you have to look at it from the amount of merchandise stuff that she was selling, it was fair, to pay her more than, if she wasn't selling shit, then you don't give her money just because she has a uterus. Right? It didn't make any fucking sense. But that's kind of how these people think. She has a uterus, therefore she's equal to the testicles of Roman Reigns. It's like, nah, come on. All right, let's go. Tell that old man to never speak on my fave ever again. Like, ever. He's using Liv for attention now. Ooh, it girl status. What? This is in Spanish. Let's go to translate tweet. Liv Morgan's problem for Jim Cornette is not that she's too feminine to be a wrestler. It's that she's a woman. And I'm not even trying to tweet militantly. It's just because this dickhead never has anything nice to say when it comes to women's wrestling. This is false. He didn't like Bianca Belair at first, and then he came around on her. He came around on Sasha Banks. He came around on Charlotte, Rhea Ripley. There's some other ones that he actually likes. He likes Britt Baker. He likes Serena Deeb. He likes Serena Deeb. He likes some women's wrestling. He just doesn't like as much women's wrestling as everybody else. And because he sees women as a side order, not, the main course, which, again, not entirely wrong. Shut up. Please go to a retirement center, old ass. Cornette, stop. This is stupid. Liv is awesome. I'm sure you think so. Liv Morgan is relevant. Jim Cornette isn't. Jim Cornette is too girly to be a wrestler. Interestingly enough, that was actually his gimmick, is that he was like a mama's boy and too feminine to actually be taken seriously. And somebody says, and he's out of touch and stuck in the past where everyone's a carny fuck to have an opinion that matters. I don't even understand what that meant. Liv Morgan is one of the best women WWE have, period. I agree with Jim on some things, disagree with him on others. Major disagree here. Jim Cornette needs to take his last breath. These people are nuts. They are nuts. These are crazy fucking people. Guys, here's my tutorial on what to do when you see a tweet with the word Jim Cornette in it. 1, continue scrolling. And that's it. That's the only thing. Who gives a shit what the relics of the wrestling think at this point? I don't know. It's just fun, man. I listened to the drive-thru and the experience. He's spot on about a lot of things, but he can be very unfair when it comes to women's wrestling. Liv is a blossoming star and one of the best things about Monday Night Raw. I think we watch different episodes of Monday Night Raw. I think we do. I think we watch 2 different episodes of Monday Night Raw. Somebody says that doesn't even make any sense. Fuck Jim, my wife fucking other wrestlers in the next room, Cornette. Are you assuming he's not in the same room? You assuming he's not on the other side of the room, sitting in the corner with like a cup of orange juice or something like that? Okay. This guy. She did work at Hooters, but the real girly girl is Ariana Grace. She was a beauty queen who got pimped by her dad, Santino Marella. He made her get multiple plastic surgeries to please Johnny Ace. You know how I said earlier that I think that was probably the most deranged comment I've ever read on this channel? I think this one has gotten pretty close. Now, the death threats, par for the course. You see death threats all the time. But this son of a bitch who just said that Santino is pimping his daughter out, insane. Absolutely insane. All right? Insane people. I don't know what the fuck too girly means. This isn't a shot at the site that reported the story. She does a good job and she's good at it. I guess. I guess. I don't know. Somebody called him a fucking mark using the MJF meme. Corny, one of Liv's influences is Trish Stratus, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, who is also very feminine. Like, what are we even doing here? I would love to know what Jim Cornette thinks of Trish Stratus. I would love to know, because I'm pretty sure he's not a fan. Look, we don't need to give him any attention, but, like, the fuck does that even mean? There's so much of this, what the fuck does that even mean? It's like 4 in a row of different people saying, what the fuck does that even mean? Oh my goodness, this one's brutal. Jim Cornette want all the women in wrestling to look like his wife. Ugh. Gotta say, man, I'm not a big fan of Jim Cornette's wife and how she looks. It is what it is. I mean, if that floats your boat and finds your lost remote, do your thing. But, not my bag, baby. I'm sorry, what? Did Cornette sleep through the entire Divas era? Try again, Jimbo. This is a ridiculous statement. Well, here's another one. And you are too old to be alive. What does that mean? What does that mean? You are too old to be alive. He's not that old. Jesus. How the hell can someone be too girly to be a wrestler? Don't make no damn sense. How somebody perceived girliness discredit their in-ring credentials? Explain that to me. A woman can have what's considered a girly girl personality and still get shit done in the ring, Cornette. Well, I don't think he's saying that Liv Morgan gets it done in the ring. I think that's the part he has a problem with, is that her offense doesn't look believable and it's not traditional to her style. At least Liv didn't have her knee destroyed into smithereens in the ring. Oh, that was Jim Cornette too. He did do that. What is this? FICO him? Fucko him? F star CO him? I don't understand. Is that a different language? He went after Dana's looks for no reason at all. He's a piece of shit and always will be. Dana Brooke? I don't know. What do you say about Dana Brooke? I don't know. Somebody says, he's right. And he says it in whispers. Oh shit, this is nuts. Oh my goodness. Here's it. How aren't you not on your deathbed breach powder? What? How aren't you not on your deathbed breach powder? I don't understand any of this. Is that a sentence? I don't even know what that means. Every day I wake up, every day. And every day I wish I didn't read what Jim Cornette has to say. Irrelevant opinion of some sad, old, annoying fuck. Good Lord. This is in Puerto Rican, which is like gutter Spanish. There's a lot of people with question marks and confused. A lot of people confused. A lot of gifts. A lot of people telling them to shut the fuck up. Ain't no point in reading, more shut the fuck up takes. There's a lot of shut the fuck ups. I mean, with Liv Morgan, Jim Cornette is 1,000% right. Her character is like a girl who cries upon everything. And this ain't Divas. This is for the women who wants to be the champion. You can't make Liv the champ. And she'll behave like a little kid. No seriousness. She's a crybaby. That's a good point. That's a good point. She is a crybaby. She is a whiner. I give her some credit for that. She's tough though. She hangs in. More Spanish. What's up? Why are these people who like Liv Morgan in Spanish? Fuck. Come on. Come on. Speak English. Let's see. This one, it's Portuguese. I went through all that and it's Portuguese. Never mind. What an excuse to be sexist. It doesn't even look like an old drool who came from a generation where feminine women had more space because of their bodies, while the non-standard became a laughing stock. This was an attempt to be feminist? I don't get it. Wow. There's just so much shut up and shut the fuck up, and it's just a lot of that. Just a lot. Oh boy. Liv Morgan getting criticism from Jim Cornette isn't surprising. I mean, he's always saying stuff about a lot of the women wrestlers, especially the women, and it's terrible. I mean, maybe. Jim Cornette is just another old white man who thinks he's allowed to have an opinion. Literally nobody cares or knows who you are. Retire and keep Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley out of your wrinkled mouth. Only his mouth is wrinkled, by the way. Everything else is smooth as a baby's bottom, but that mouth wrinkled as hell. Why would you say some shit like that? Anyway, I am someone who really, all caps, likes Liv Morgan, but does agree with Jim Cornette. She is too small and girly to be a wrestler. Smaller men and women have a difficult time in the business because of injuries and booking. You have to have something more to get past those limits. Somebody's being rational. Somebody get the rational people the fuck out of here. Stop being rational. So Liv Morgan fans are mad at Jim Cornette for not liking her, repurposing a tweet. Our society is full of pussies. I like Liv and Cornette, and I'm not an adult. I am an adult, and understand not all the celebrities I like are going to like each other. It is not worth the stupid level of fake outrage. Well, I can give you that. This nigga's name is King Negro? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I was trying to... I tell you, I'm about to no man. King Negro. About to no man. Um, I told a buddy of mine there are more main event level women than men in WWE. Cornette is sexist as hell. Liv being girly is a good thing because girls see they can be pretty and an ass kicker. I would think that all the other women who are also pretty and kick ass could also do the same thing. I think Liv Morgan is just that girl who her story is I always wanted to be in WWE. It was my dream. And, WWE loves to take that story and multiply it 100 times and package it and resell it to people. To dovetail back to Toni Storm, that was her thing, She said, her dream was to go to WWE, and she finally got there, and it didn't work out for her, It killed her dream of wrestling. It killed her love of wrestling because she personally wasn't benefiting from the wrestling, so she didn't like it. It is what it is. I think Jim Cornette is so blind that Liv is a unique superstar that no one in the history of the WWE Women's Division has that. Liv doesn't have a gimmick. Very difficult for commentators like Corey Graves would find a nickname for her. I would say the Fantabulous Emancipatrix. What the fuck is wrong with these people, man? The Fantabulous Emancipatrix? What is those? I'm pretty sure, I'm college educated. I'm pretty sure the word fantabulous is not a real word. Emancipatrix, I'm very afraid that is a real word, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Use words, fella. Please use words. This is ridiculous. As a long-time listener of Cornette, I can respectfully disagree with his takes on Liv. And some of the other things like in regards of talent like Moxley, Omega, etc. But a lot of the shit he says about the product and the booking is definitely true. Somebody says, this is a reason that you promote a 2-bit wrestling promotion in East Tennessee, that you have a crowd of 36 people. They might have a full set of teeth between all of them. Wait a minute. One tooth apiece. I gotta read this again. I'm so sorry. This is the reason that you promote a 2-bit wrestling promotion in East Tennessee that if you have a crowd of 36 people, might have a full set of teeth between all of them. You're just pissed because the wrestling business is wised up to your ass. Holy shit. 36 people. One set of teeth. Good Lord have mercy, bro. Oh, good God. These people are out of control, man. These people are nuts. This is hilarious. I don't know how many more of these we got left in us. Let's see. Sigh, in quotations. Liv is far smaller than the women who wrestled in North America in the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s. So obviously she shouldn't be a wrestler. This is sad because Jim just proves how out of touch with 2022 pro wrestling with remarks like this, and he doesn't see that. I'm sorry, but 2022 we don't see a lot of women being pushed out of the size of Liv Morgan. A lot of people are basically just, defending Liv on size, like tweeting Russell cringe. It's getting ridiculous. He's about to drop dead. That should be the least of his concerns. Good Lord. Jesus. Guys, man. They're obsessed with his death. Please. How girly someone is got nothing to do with wrestling, so let people speak. Oh, Jesus. Jim Cornette hasn't understood wrestling since 1985. He is lost when it comes to today's wrestling. Anyone can be a wrestler, and it shows just how sexist he really is. Ugh. Liv is an amazing wrestler, and she brings the fans and the game, and if this sexist prick can't accept that she's being herself while doing what she loves, then he can go shove it where the sun don't shine. Every letter in that sentence is one long sentence with no kind of exclamation points, no commas, nothing. Every word in this thing is capitalized. These people, the English is not their first language. It's terrible, awful. Liv Morgan won't be remembered in 15 years, but Corny's still going to live in your heads rent-free. You're a bunch of suckers. Well, he's managed to survive longer than 15 years. I don't know. Unless you know something about Liv Morgan, I don't know. I can be pretty sure that she's not going to be some Hall of Famer, you know. But you never know what happens with people and what catches on in the United States. I mean, could you imagine telling people, stunning Steve Austin will never be the guy? And, he got fired. I mean, we do this all the time when people get fired. We look at what they've done up to that point and we say, yeah, I see why people fired them. We could always be wrong, Whenever I do these videos when people get fired, I always say, look, these people ain't done shit. I don't see them doing anything. If they decide to throw it up in my face later, become Stone Cold Steve Austin or John Cena or something, then I got to eat that L. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it can never happen. I'm not arrogant enough to think that I'm the best at deciding who has talent and who isn't. I just look at the track record and say that a lot of people that WWE end up cutting, most of them don't blow up in their face like this. But you never know. And you never know which talent. Like WWE has talent that are earmarked for success, like a Roman Reigns. And then you get somebody who comes out of the woodwork, like a Bryan Danielson. And that guy ends up becoming a big star. You're like, wait, where the hell this guy come from? Like they earmarked Charlotte and Becky and all, not Becky, but Charlotte and Ronda. They didn't see Becky and Bayley coming. Becky, finally getting over because of a freak accident and getting her face busted. Nobody saw that coming. She was never supposed to be in the position that she is now. Bayley turning heel and finally able to get her character over and get a new persona going for herself. It's completely new and it's different. You got to give people time. And I hate to say what's going to happen in 10 to 15 years. I can say safely that Shawn Spears is a piece of trash and is probably one of the worst pro wrestlers in North America. And it's a complete waste of human sperm. I feel pretty comfortable with that because he's almost like 40 and he hasn't accomplished anything yet. So it's probably pretty safe to say he's trash. But Liv Morgan's like 26. We don't know what could happen within the next year or two that could get her over in a mainstream way. We don't know. Nobody wants to be Vern Gagne, who was like, we didn't need to put the belt on Hogan. He's nobody wants to be a dinosaur. Just look at people and say, up to this point, I don't see anything yet. And that's okay to say that you don't see anything in somebody yet. Since when has Jim Cornette said anything of relevance before? The pussy has me blocked on Twitter, and he's that much of a giant virgin. A giant virgin. Just one big old virgin. Big old virgin. Okay, let's wrap this thing up, man. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there. Hope you had fun with Jim Cornette absolutely getting attacked by the best good buds of Liv Morgan and her repugnant fan base. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.